The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
In the AFC East, of course, I think everybody expects the Buffalo Bills are going to run away with this division.
There's almost no way they don't. I see absolutely no way they don't. And their best case scenario, since you brought up wrestling.
Yep.
Stephon, get the tables.
Get the tables. That's right. It's all over but the crying for this team.
I think they're the best team in the AFC.
In the AFC, period. Better than the Kansas City Chiefs.
I think they're better. Obviously, their inability to run last year scares me, but you still got Josh Allen. Mm-hmm. Having a quarterback that is my size and actually athletic, you're always going to be able to run it slightly well.
Yep.
You know, he scores a red zone touchdown about every other week. I'm just not that worried about it. With Stephon Diggs, now look, I don't love the Emmanuel Sanders thing. That's a guy that, I'm going to die on the shield of I don't like that. I would much prefer you had kept John Brown. I think he's a better player at this point than Emmanuel Sanders is. Mm-hmm. The high side of Sanders is better, but he's hurt all the damn time. And then he just disappears for extended periods of time. But the defense is good. You've got a lockdown guy in Tre'Davious White. You brought back Milano. You brought back Darrell Williams. There's really nothing to not like with the Bills.
Mm-hmm. What is your biggest concern on the defensive side of the ball for them?
They have a lot of young pass rushers, but this might be one of those things of jack of all trades, master of none. Mm-hmm. I said before the draft, I like, the career trajectory on Greg Rousseau, I like a lot. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how much of an impact he was going to be immediately. I've already heard that Carlos Basham Jr. has outproduced him in minicamp. I'm getting a little nervous about Rousseau. And having him with Jerry Hughes and all of the pieces. The D-line's very good. I don't know if you have that guy. The guy that I have to be scared of, that I have to double team. And that makes me a little nervous because there are teams on the schedule that are going to be able to throw the ball. You're going to have to be able to hit quarterbacks. Right. And I'm just not sure that they're going to do it on a regular basis.
Are you done with Ed Oliver?
No, I love Ed Oliver.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
I've seen a lot of smack talk about Ed Oliver, especially in Buffalo Bills groups over this offseason of he's not the guy we thought he was.
Well, because people thought he was going to come in and be this unbelievable pass rusher.
Because that's what he was.
They've seen Quinnen Williams, because he played at Houston.
Right.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, he's a great player, but there's just not a lot of interior linemen that are going to come in and beat Aaron Donald.
No,
there's a reason
that's
we
what
talk
he
about
was expected to be.
Yeah, and
that's
I always thought that was misguided.
Everybody thought Ed Oliver was going to be the next Aaron Donald, the next Ndamukong Suh.
If you remember when he got drafted, I was scared to death the Jets were going to draft him where we took Quinnen Williams. Mm-hmm. Because Quinnen Williams is a man. And I could not fathom passing on him for Ed Oliver. Now, that being said, I still think Ed Oliver's a really good player. Mm-hmm. Really good player.
How about the secondary? Past Tre'Davious White, do you have a problem? Can they upgrade at any of those spots?
I mean, I don't think you have to. I really don't. It's kind of a sum of all parts with them. Mm-hmm. Because I do like Levi Wallace. We talked about Rashad Wildgoose at nauseum.
Right.
If for nothing else, because you thought his name was funny.
Right.
I just think this is a scheme fit defense. It's a sum of all parts, not, oh, look at all the stars. It's just a bunch of guys that fill a role in this defense. And I think it's going to be really good. I think this team is going to be dumb good. Josh Allen's my favorite to win MVP because I think he should have won it last year. I still maintain he should have won it last year. And yes, am I a little biased because I'd said it all year? Probably.
Yes, you absolutely are.
At the end of the day, who had more around him? Who had more around him, Aaron Rodgers or Josh Allen?
It was Aaron. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Take Josh Allen off the Bills, take Aaron Rodgers off the Packers. Packers still probably go 7-10, 8-9. The Bills might be 4-13. Because they can't run, and they just have a superhuman quarterback.
Very well. That could be very well true. I think sky's the limit. Super Bowl aspirations definitely should be real with the Buffalo Bills if they can get past the hump of the Kansas City Chiefs. But it's a position that every other team except for the Chiefs would love to be in, of being just behind the team that we think could very well win the Super Bowl. Buffalo Bills are right there with them. Worst case scenario for them, I think it's the run game. I think that's the one thing that could go horribly wrong this year. All cats, no pegs.
Can't run a greasy peg up a cat's ass.
That's right.
That's the fear. Now, I will say, I do firmly believe Zach Moss is going to start running back this team.
I would agree with that.
I think we've seen what it is with Devin Singletary, and I like the pop of him. I just think he's that scat back. He needs to be a better receiver than he is to play that role. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why they've been reticent to do this. But if you could, in Buffalo, I think you're going to see them carve out a role where there's not necessarily a one. You see Zach Moss run between the tackles on first and second down, and then you see Singletary come out and be that explosive guy. Mm-hmm. Singletary does not need to be getting 15, 20 carries a game. He's very good, but he's a pop guy. And I just look at this team and go, you don't have to be you don't have to be a great running team, but you do have to be able to run a little bit.
Yeah.
And I thought Matt Breida would probably be, I thought he would have a role, but I keep hearing he's not going to make the team. So there's something to be, that makes me a little nervous. I think he's the most talented of the three running backs.
Really?
I like Matt Breida. I always have.
I mean, he's super fast, but
he's fast and,
But
all right,
apparently he does the little things better. Is that what you're saying?
Apparently I'm the only person that doesn't remember this Paul Orndorff person.
Yeah.
I've never seen that person before in my life.
Oh, God. He was one of the greatest heels of all time.
I don't remember that person at all. But you got to remember, I'm only 34.
That's true.
So, like, when I came in, it was The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, God. So you missed, like, the
earliest
like the Sting day, like the early Sting days.
I only remember Sting in black and white.
Oh, no.
I've seen pictures of him with the Ultimate Warrior, but I don't know.
I mean, Orndorff was still around at that time, but he was a bit player.
Yeah, that's why I don't remember him, because it was before me.
It was right in the heart of the '80s when he was the narcissist. No, that was Lex Luger. I think he used that same.
I remember Lex Luger.
Yeah. No, but he used that same kind of, I'm Mr. Wonderful. I'm the prettiest. And somebody who said in the comments earlier that Mr. Perfect was better than Mr. Wonderful.
Adam Black, and I agree with him because I know who Mr. Perfect is.
No, stop that. You can count me out on that one.
Jason Trump said I missed the golden days. I very well may have. That may be why I had a very little run in pro wrestling. Like, I never, I tried to do it at one time. And anybody says that's not really, they're not really athletes, you're fucking wrong.
Nope, you're definitely wrong about that.
I learned very little, but I will suplex you one time completely safely, and I promise you'll go, oh, fuck this.
Anyway, very sad. Paul Orndorff dead at the age of 71. Back to the worst-case scenario for the Buffalo Bills. I'm trying to find fault other than injury that I could say the passing game is not going to work, that Josh Allen's not going to work. I don't see a regression coming. Right. Like, last year he took the step everybody expected him to take.
I don't think anybody expected him to take that much of a step. No, I was super high on Josh Allen, and I didn't think he could be that guy.
Okay, maybe expected was the wrong word to use there. It was the step that he needed to take to become a star. He took and he took that bull by the horns and wrestled it to the ground. I don't see a way that this team is bad. Barring some San Francisco 49ers stroke of luck with injuries, this is going to be a team that's going to be a contender. I can see them having, last year, where did they rank in the NFL last year as far as their rushing attack went? I had to imagine it was at the bottom of the league.
It's a hell of a question.
Right. But the running game wasn't that good last year. So can that really be an Achilles heel for them to, fall out of playoff contention? No. I don't think anybody believes that.
They were middle of the pack.
They were middle of the pack? Okay.
But you got to remember that's with Josh Allen.
Right.
Who had 8 rushing touchdowns himself. The rest of the team had 8.
Right.
So, I mean, they're never going to be a bad rushing team.
Right. It also begs the question, are the running backs really that bad? Between Zach Moss and Devin Singletary, I mean, it's not like Singletary was averaging 2 yards a carry and was god-awful.
No, but, yeah.
But when you have a quarterback who can also do the things on the ground, it's obviously going to take some attention away from them. It's going to take them out of the flow of the game. So they're not going to put up great big stats.
I think they have to find the guy that consistently get them that can consistently get them 4 yards on first down. Mm-hmm. I think there's a better chance of that being Zach Moss. I thought he was a little hurt last year. I don't know that. And you got to remember there was no training camp. Mm-hmm. Running back in the NFL, especially for guys that come out of those gimmicky ass offenses out west, you come into the league and you're not a good run blocker and you just kind of get squished down the depth chart. I can see a path where we see a different version of Zach Moss this year than we saw last year.
Yeah, my question is not whether the Bills are going to be at the top of the AFC. The question for me is how long are they going to be at the top of the AFC?
Because how with Josh Allen, you're around here,
right? Like how
quite a while.
This team is built for future success. They have done a great job of putting young pieces on this team together that can thrive and flourish. Mm-hmm. And I don't see a path. And if they just hit on one of the edge rushers, this could go from a really good defense to a scary damn defense. Mm-hmm. If Carlos Basham or AJ Epinesa, who they drafted last year, turns into the first round picks that they want them to be.
They have a lot of guys defensively. That's kind of what I was saying. I don't know if you have the one guy that's going to command the double team. I loved Carlos Basham coming out. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing: to play the way I think the Bills would be the best, they're gonna have to find that premier pass rusher. They got a lot of choices. They got a lot of draft capital wrapped up in edge guys, mm-hmm. and you have to find that guy that can 4 yards in a cloud of dust. I think that's Zach Moss. I also think Zach Ertz winds up on this team. I'm going to die on my shield on that. Yeah. I've been saying that for months. Buffalo, if you could get that done so I could, be right about it, it would be tremendous.
I've seen some opining, by the way, of cap savings. And Jerry Hughes and Cole Beasley, there's been talk about both of them being candidates to be cut.
Neither one's going anywhere.
I wouldn't think so.
Jerry Hughes still a starter on this thing. Mm-hmm. No doubt. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, Mario Addison is too.
You don't like Mario?
I've never bought into him. I never have.
Okay.
I would rather see guys like Boogie Basham getting the reps over a guy like Mario Addison. Mm-hmm. Also, don't be shocked if Basham plays on the inside. I said that before he was drafted. I've heard it out of Buffalo. Mm-hmm. They have this idea that at some net they're going to be able to play Russo, Hughes, Ed Oliver, and Basham on the line at the same time, with Epinesa as an interior rotational guy.
Yeah.
Think of the Giants back in the Justin Tuck, Michael Strahan days.
Yeah.
And I love this Buffalo team, which is hard for me to say because they're in my division, but I do.
Worst case scenario, how many wins?
Looking at the schedule, worst case scenario, 11.
Okay.
I think they're 11-6. Worst case scenario.
I think I convinced myself on 10, but that's fine.
Phew. Who's the 7th one?
This is always that weird game that somebody drops to a team they're not supposed to. I always factor that into my best worst case scenarios. of these are the teams that you definitely believe they could lose. They could lose to if they're having their absolute worst year, and then you throw in one extra, like get tripped up in Atlanta or something on a week that nobody gives a fuck about.
Yeah, I don't see it with this team. Yeah. I think the floor on them is so high just because of who Josh Allen is. Mm-hmm. I would say low side they're 11-6, high side they're probably 14-3, 13-4.
Yep.
This is a team I feel like I know pretty damn well. High side they're the number 1 seed in the AFC. Low side they're the 3, and it's hard for me to even get there because I don't see how a team's going to get out of the North with a better record than the Bills. Mm-hmm. And the Titans and Colts are just going to cannibalize each other. So I don't think they can end up with a better record than the Bills.
Right now, according to Vegas Insider, Josh Allen is plus 1,000 to win the MVP. 10-1 odds tied with Aaron Rodgers.
Wow, winning.
The favorite on the season, of course, Patrick Mahomes, who is 4-1 odds, plus 400. So might want to drop a little something on that one.